Today we'll be covering everything that Universal Orlando has announced that is coming to Epic Universe, opening in 2025. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, August 4th, and you're listening to episode 47, Universal Orlando's Epic Universe, Everything We Know So Far. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on in the parks right now. The biggest news of the week was that Universal announced some major details on their Ministry of Magic expansion coming to Wizarding World of Harry Potter to Epic Universe in 2025. We've got all those details for you in today's episode, and we'll get to those in a bit. Disney Cruise Line released some major details on the Disney Destiny over a 3-day period this week, and we've got a ton of details for you. When you enter the ship, you'll be greeted by King T'Challa and a panther with coloring and decor themed to vibranium, which is the extremely valuable and versatile element from the movie. The stern artwork features a Marvel character for the very first time, and that's Spider-Man with his spider bots. Pride Land's Feast of the Lion King is a theatrical dining experience which will feature live performances and elements to make the space look like the African savannah. There will be a Pirates of the Caribbean themed pub inspired by the Pirates of the Caribbean's attractions located across the domestic and international parks. The Sanctum will be a Doctor Strange themed lounge with a mystical and magical themed atmosphere. And the Haunted Mansion parlor will also be found on the Disney Destiny as well. If you remember, the Disney Treasure will also have a Haunted Mansion parlor, so it's nice to see it on this ship as well. DeVille's Piano Lounge will be a lavish lounge which will have a Hollywood Regency-inspired aesthetic in line with Cruella style. There will be many other snack and cafe locations on board. Disney Wish has the Aqua Mouse. The Disney Destiny will have the Aqua Mouse dark version, so it'll feature an original soundtrack and have appearances from Disney villains. It's set to sail in November of 2025 on 4 or 5 night cruises. Booking opens for Castaway Club members on September 6th and on September 12th for everyone else. Extended evening hours are coming back to Animal Kingdom for a limited time. The first extended evening hours for Animal Kingdom will be on October 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. This is due to the fact that parties will be ongoing at Magic Kingdom until the new year, with Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party right after. So if you listened to last week's episode, I just wanted to say that we know the audio quality was probably not what you're used to hearing by now. The audio was peaking a little bit. I was able to get that dialed in this week and it's fixed now, although it may not be updated on all your devices until you close out your app and reopen it. Having said that, it will not be like that this week. I've got all our settings dialed in now and it should be pretty much back to normal. I also picked up a new audio interface last week, which should really help streamline our recording and editing process. So long story short, the tech problems we had last week are now resolved and we're good to go.
With that said, let's get into today's main topic. Today we're going to look into everything that Universal has announced so far in regards to what is coming to their brand new theme park, Epic Universe, opening in 2025. So over the last few months, they've been dropping big details on each new land coming to the park. Each time they release a video as well as a blog post outlining the attractions, entertainment, dining, and merchandise locations coming to each new land. They also share several video previews and concept art going into more detail of what the layout of the lands will look like, what we can expect the attractions to be, some of the menu items at the different restaurants, and a look at some of the shops and merchandise locations we can find in each of these spaces. They have also announced what the ticket structure will be initially, at least when it comes to third-party sellers. They share details on the 3 new hotels that will be opening alongside Epic Universe. While there are still details that we don't know yet and have not been shared with yet, we know that Universal will continue to release information as the opening date draws nearer, and we fully expect to get more fun little tidbits in the coming months. It's been really fun so far what they put out.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'll keep our ears to the ground and continue to share further details as they're released, but today we're going to recap everything we know so far and maybe speculate a little bit about more announcements that are to come.
Yeah, exactly. So first things first, when is all this opening? So, well, we know it's going to be in 2025 and little else, right? So there's speculation and rumors that it's going to be in the summer of 2025, but nothing official has been announced. And given the scale of the project, any small hiccup could cause some delays. And it's possible that we could see this open in the fall or the holiday season of 2025. We're guesstimating that it won't be in the first half of the year. It's almost certainly going to slip later into 2025. We're waiting patiently for more concrete news on that front, and we'll share details as soon as we learn more. When it comes to tickets for the new park and what we can expect pricing to be, Universal has also not shared a whole lot of information on that front yet. We can very likely expect to see a different pricing structure than we see at the existing parks. And Universal has put out communication to third-party sellers that has hinted as to what we could potentially see initially. Third-party sellers were told that initially, single-day tickets to Epic Universe and park hopping won't be available. A visit will only be included in park tickets of at least 3 days and will only include one park day at Epic Universe. And again, no park hopping, Like there won't be any park hopping option at all. It'll just be one day at Universal with at least 3-day tickets.
Yeah.
It's unclear if this will be the case if you purchase tickets directly via Universal or if you're staying at one of the new area resorts, especially like the Helios Grand, which could have like special perks or benefits.
Right.
But that's, again, hasn't been announced. So again, details are pretty skinny on that front so far. So we're keeping our ear to the ground on this front as well. And we'll share details when we know more in regards to tickets and how that's going to work out.
Absolutely. And another thing to note here as well is that right now there's an Epic Universe Preview Center located in City Walk. This is free to visit, so you don't need park tickets to experience this. And inside there is a massive model of the new park. You can also explore it in further detail in augmented reality with your smartphone while you're exploring the model to learn more about each new section. There are a few photo opportunities as well and some merchandise specific to Epic Universe and the lands that are coming to the newest park. We've seen photos of this place, and we will definitely be paying them a visit next month when we are there for our trip. That'll be really exciting, actually, to see inside there and see exactly what's going to be going on. So if you are visiting Universal leading up to the opening of Epic Universe, we definitely suggest you check this out.
Yeah, 100%. And we will be as well, just to get a sense for what it is like in space, because we've watched those videos, YouTube videos, like they do flyovers of essentially, you know, and it's all conceptual. It's like essentially cartoons of what it's going to look like, but to actually look at it in space, I'm very visual. So I think it's going to be cool to see.
I agree. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So this will be Universal Orlando Resort's fourth gate. The resort already has Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. Those parks are right next to each other. And then you can easily hop over from one park to the other. And then right near the entrance of these parks is City Walk, which is Universal's shopping and dining district. And then not far from there, you have Volcano Bay, which is Universal's water park and is in the area that Universal is now calling North Campus. And this is also where the existing hotels are located. So that is Portofino Bay, Hard Rock Hotel, Royal Pacific Resort, Sapphire Falls Resort, Cabana Bay Beach Resort, Aventura Hotel, and Endless Summer Surfside and Endless Summer Dockside Inn and Suites. There will also be 3 new hotels opening alongside Epic Universe. That was really smart for them to do that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
There will be 2 new additions to the prime value category of resorts. Universal's Stella Nova Resort is set to open on January 21st, 2025. Its sister property, Universal's Terra Luna Resort, is set to open on February 25th, 2025. Each resort is expected to have 750 rooms, which will be another 1,500 rooms to the existing inventory that is already at Universal. They will both be themed to space, with theming inspired by galaxies, stars, black holes, and planetary systems. And like we said, they'll both be prime value hotels like Universal Cabana Bay Beach Resort and Universal Aventura Hotel. There will be a third resort called Universal's Helios Grand Hotel. Now, this is going to be the new flagship resort on property, and it will be located inside Epic Universe. So primo location for sure, with a dedicated entrance to the park adjacent to Celestial Park. This will be a luxurious 500-room property, and aside from that, details have actually been pretty thin, but we fully expect that this is going to be a premier resort with Universal Express unlimited benefits and perhaps even more perks in its own category. That's purely speculation on our part, though. We haven't really, like I said, it's been pretty thin details, so we're waiting for more to come out on that. And any way you slice it, this resort is sure to be 2 things. 1, extremely popular, and 2, extremely expensive. I have no doubt about that because it's going to be right in the park.
Yeah, the fact that it's going to have its own dedicated entrance, like you have to assume that it's going to be
pricey.
It's going to be like the properties over at Disney, right? Anything that's like on the monorail loop, anything that's walking distance to Epcot is always super expensive. So
location.
Exactly. Yep.
So having said that, even if it's just for one night or 2, we definitely have to book a stay here, I think, for the experience alone.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Yeah, well, probably. And then we'll have to drop down to the least expensive.
Yep. So good. One of the facts that not everyone is aware of, and we kind of find like slip through the cracks when Epic Universe comes into conversation. And I was having a conversation with Lucy's mom, my mother-in-law, just earlier today. And again, she didn't know about this. So this is going to be in a new area, which Universal is calling the South Campus. You can go online and see a physical map of this, but it's going to be located off Sand Lake Road, which will be a 10 to 15 minute ground transportation trip, right? Think like a car ride or a shuttle from the existing North Campus. Universal has said that it will offer free transportation in between their parks as well as from their resorts to Epic Universe. It's not a big deal if you're used to, or if you've been to Walt Disney World, right? You're no stranger to having to take transportation from park to park or resort to park, right? It's just a reality over there.
Mhm.
Walt Disney World is sprawling and it takes time to get from place to place. Now Universal is going to have a similar situation where there'll be some travel involved in between their existing campus and the completely new area. In our opinion, this is good and bad, right? It's good because they're expanding and there's going to be so much more to do and see. And realistically, it'll make it more appealing to do a full vacation there. With 3 theme parks, 1 water park, you could easily do several days to a week at Universal.
Easily now. Normally we would just do a committed 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we might have to be doing a
And
full week.
Exactly. And this is their intention, right? They've said that.
Yeah.
At 750 acres, it more than doubles the size of the existing resort. And in their releases, they've outright said they expect guests to stay a full week to experience the resort from here on out. This is nothing but good for Universal Orlando Resort in that respect. On the flip side, one of the things that we personally love about Universal is that you can currently, you don't have to go very far to get everywhere. We normally stay at Royal Pacific and we're walking distance to the parks and walking distance to City Walk, which makes for a very relaxed experience when it comes to transportation.
That is so true. Yeah.
Again, it's not a big deal. It just adds a layer to your stay at Universal going forward that wasn't there before.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. All right. So now let's get into the nitty gritty of every land and everything that will be inside when you walk in. So first things first, you'll enter the new park by walking through the Emerald Gate and the Chronos device. And this is the entrance to Epic Universe. This is, quote, the world between worlds that opens the portal to the Epic lands inside. Celestial Park is in the center of the park and is really the gateway to all the other 4 lands. Each land has a Chronos from Celestial Park that leads into the individual lands around the center. Universal said that it's going to have lush greenery, beautiful water features, dining, shopping, and 3 attractions. Universal is adopting the hub and spoke design perfected by Disney. This is the center of the park, and the other lands branch off from the center. So here's what you're going to find in this space altogether. In terms of attractions, Universal says that there's going to be 3, but really it's more like 2. So the flagship attraction in this land will be Stardust Racers. This will be a thrill coaster that will simulate a race through space in a dual launch coaster that will be at max speed of 62 miles per hour and a height of 133 feet along over 5,000 feet track. There are inversions and crisscrosses with the other ride vehicle. So this looks really cool and it's sure to be a really good time, like a thrill coaster for sure. Universal says that the track itself is not lit, but the ride vehicles are. So at night, it will look as though the ride vehicles are shooting stars. We cannot wait to see what this one looks like, especially at night.
Yeah, agreed.
This will be a 48-inch height requirement, so it's not going to be suitable for the little ones in your party. You'll have to be at least 4 feet tall for this one.
Yep, agreed. With that said, you'll also find Constellation Carousel here. So this one will be kid-friendly. This is a fresh spin on a classic carousel ride, right? So instead of horses, the carriages are celestial-themed animals such as lions, dragons, peacocks, among others. This rotates in circles, but they also rotate 360 degrees and go up and down 6 feet in the air. So the ride is covered by a beautifully themed large canopy and awnings looking out into the land. Looking at the video and concept art, it looks like a mix between a spinning ride like alien swirling saucers and a traditional carousel like the one you'd find behind the castle.
Yeah.
This won't have a height requirement, but littles under 48 inches tall will need a supervising companion to ride. And the third element, which Universal classifies as an attraction as well, they've named it Astronomica. So this is a water feature that has dancing water fountains that shoot up where guests will be able to walk through and interact with. This will for sure attract the kids in your party and will likely get them drenched. That being said, it does look pretty. So even if you don't walk through it, it's more than likely going to be worth checking out at some point during your day.
Absolutely. So for dining, you're going to have the Atlantic. This is a full table service restaurant overlooking the Neptune pool water feature in Celestial Park. The restaurant features large glass walls, not unlike a massive aquarium. Suspended above you are decorative fish surrounded by metallic curtains that give you the illusion that they're in motion underwater. So looking at the concept art, it looks as though there will be 2 floors with the second floor overlooking the main floor. The menu will feature seafood, steaks, among other options. This looks amazing and it really makes us want to eat here. And we definitely will. 100%. We're going to check this one out. I recommend that you go to Universal website and check out the concept art for this one because it's hard to put into words, but we think it's going to be a beautiful place to eat.
Yeah, 100%.
Very unique.
Yeah, 100%. And like when you look at the photo, it's right on the water and it's got these big, massive windows, like, floor to ceiling kind of thing. And then the main floor is kind of open and exposed and the second floor looks onto it. It just looks really, really cool. And I think it's going to be a phenomenal place to eat.
Agreed.
Still in Celestial Park, there's also going to be the Blue Dragon Pan Asian restaurant. So this will be a full table service restaurant as well. The front of the restaurant will have a large dragon coiled to form like an archway that you'll pass under as you enter the restaurant. There's going to be covered outdoor seating with colorful round lanterns that will give the space a unique vibe. Inside, the walls will be lined with neon dragons and the ceiling will look like the night sky. And there's going to be glowing lanterns through the space and trees whose canopies are illuminated to add light to the beautiful dining room. You're going to find Japanese, Chinese, and Thai cuisine here. And again, I think it's going to be nice and upscale here. You can kind of see in the background in the concept art that it's going to be really close to where the Helios Grand is. So I think that this is going to be like another really nice, good place to eat.
Just from what you're getting the vibe of for Celestial Park in general, it's just going to have that upscale vibe, I think, to it with the carousel, almost like you're in a very fancy park.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So for merchandise, you're going to find the Nintendo Superstar store where you're going to be able to purchase Super Nintendo World themed toys, apparel, souvenirs, among other items. The inside will have stone walls and sculptures of characters you, of course, know and love. You may wonder if this is kind of out of place given that it's not in Super Nintendo World, but looking at the concept art, it'll have vine-looking awnings, stained glass windows with Mario characters, a water fountain near the entrance, so I think it's going to actually fit perfectly into Celestial Park. There are sure to be other merchandise and dining or snack locations in the space that will be shared as well when opening day gets closer.
Yep, agreed, 100%. And from Celestial Park, like we said, there are 4 chronos that lead to the other lands. And the first we'll get into is How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. So this land is huge at 15.5 acres and over 162,500 square feet of rock work.
Huge.
When you enter, you're going to get sweeping views of the land itself, which is faithful to the movies. The land is themed and set in between the first and second movies, and the entire land has splashes of color representing the dragons, like all throughout, like the rock work and, you know, the buildings. It's very colorful. There will be dragons walking around and everything will be large and Viking sized. There's going to be 4 attractions here, and up first is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. So this is a thrill coaster that will have you board a flying contraption that is not quite finished as it's missing its wings. You're going to speed through the land, skim the water, and encounter Hiccup and Toothless along the way. The ride vehicle will be side-by-side seating and it'll have a 40-inch height requirement. So it is going to be kid-friendly, but children under 48 inches tall will need a supervising companion.
Yeah, next up is Dragon Racers Rally, and this is a thrill attraction. Universal calls this one a Viking-made dragon riding trainer. Looking at the concept art, it looks like it's actually a giant arm that goes up and down and around, and that'll be able to twist and turn throughout the air in every possible angle. It's definitely worth looking this up and taking a look at this thing because it looks wild.
Yeah, 100%.
There's going to be a 48-inch height requirement, and it looks actually very thrilling. We're going to make an educated guess here that those prone to motion sickness or spinning attractions will definitely want to avoid this one or take a good amount of gravel like our poor little son will have to do.
Yeah, almost certainly. Yep.
Having said that, it really does look amazing. Lots of thrills, lots of fun.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Next up is Fire Drill. So join Rough Nut and Tough Nut in a boat battle that may get you totally soaked. So this is a water ride, and they'll have you board a ship that has water cannons mounted facing out. The goal is going to be to compete with the other side of the ship in dousing mechanical targets that look as though they're on fire. The occupants of the other boats will be doing the same thing, and they'll also be able to soak the guests on the other boats in the process. So Universal said these cannons can shoot up to 28 feet, distance. So I think it's safe to say, don't expect to come off this ride dry.
You'll be avoiding this when you hate getting wet.
Yeah, 100%. So this one's not going to have a height requirement, but again, littles under 48 inches are going to need a supervising adult.
And lastly is the Viking training camp. So this is going to be the kids area where they're going to be able to run around and burn off some energy. This large, colorful space will have interactive elements and play areas where the littles are going to be able to climb, take part in an agility course, play with launchers, and interact with classic elements like slides. It's essentially a fancy play structure done really well and heavily themed. It's a perfect spot to let them burn off energy for sure.
Yep. And for entertainment, you're going to have the Untrainable Dragon. So this is going to be a Broadway level production, right? This is not me saying this. This is Universal. And it's a stage show in a dedicated theater. It'll feature elaborate costumes, immersive sets, heartwarming score, amazing puppetry, which includes a large toothless kind of puppet that weighs 11,000 pounds and has a 27-foot wingspan, right? So this thing's going to be massive. This one is sure to be a crowd pleaser, and it's so good to see Universal incorporate entertainment like this in these lands, right? We can't wait to experience this one. It really looks like it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. I love going to shows. I think they're fun, so I'm happy that Universal is doing more of these.
And we get so much more of that at Disney. So to see it at Universal, it's really good to see.
Yeah, they've upped their game for sure.
Yep.
And for dining, you're going to find the massive cavernous Mead Hall. This will be a quick service dining location in this land and is Berk's main gathering place. The space will be massive with tons of seating. This restaurant looks like it's been carved on the side of a rocky mountain, and inside will have large tapestries of various dragons and a massive suspended chandelier with a ton of candles. The front doors will be huge faux wood doors standing at nearly 17 feet tall. And the menu is going to feature a ton of options, including meat, fish, sandwiches, desserts, as well as assorted drinks. This land really looks beautiful, and we cannot wait to see it. It's going to be so much fun.
Yep, agreed 100%. Next up is Super Nintendo World. So this franchise definitely has had a resurgence in recent years, right? So especially with the movie coming out recently, our son Caleb is a massive Mario fan and has been for years. So his last 4 birthdays, I think, have been Mario themed. He has Mario bedding, a Mario backpack, a lunchbox. He just loves it still to this date. We can't wait to take him to this land. You enter the land from Celestial Park through the Kronos like the others, and this one is made to look like the iconic green pipe, right? So like you're walking through it as if you were Mario himself.
Perfect
right?
entrance.
Yep. If you've been to Universal Hollywood, this will be familiar, but it's going to be on a much larger scale on the East Coast. So the land will be split into 2 spaces, Super Mario Land and Donkey Kong Country. The land is designed and intended to be like ultra interactive. It wants you to go, move around, and interact in the space. Power-up bands are going to be here as well, like in Hollywood, and will track your progress as you interact with the land and the interactive elements everywhere. You're going to find 3 attractions here split into 2 spaces. On the Super Mario Land side, you're going to find Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Here, you're going to put on special goggles and zip through familiar courses with Mario, Luigi, and the gang. The ride is interactive, right? So you're going to be able to throw shells to try to defeat Bowser and his team in a winner-take-all race for the Golden Cup. Power-up bands will enhance your experience and you'll be able to track your progress. This is augmented reality, so it's intended to bring the experience to life with gameplay like unfolding in front of your eyes in space with physical sets. It's like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like those...
Virtual reality.
Exactly, right? So you're going to see like, virtual reality, essentially characters and elements right in front of you, but there's also the physical sets that are actually in the space. So it's like a mix between both. The ride also has multiple outcomes to keep it fresh as you ride it over and over. It's going to have a 40-inch height requirement, and littles under 48 inches are going to need a companion.
That one's going to be so much fun. Our son's going to love that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yoshi's Adventure is a leisure, kid-friendly family ride that will take you on a colorful adventure around the land that will give you great views and unique looks at the space. You'll explore the Mushroom Kingdom landscapes and encounter the characters that you know and love. For added fun, you can search for 3 hidden Yoshi eggs as you tour the land. This will be a 34-inch height requirement, and guests under 48 inches will need a supervised companion as well. Over in Donkey Kong Country, you'll find a completely different landscape of lush jungle, which is more in keeping with the Donkey Kong theme. Here you're going to find the Minecart Madness attraction. This is a thrill coaster, so inside the Golden Temple, you'll speed through a mine with Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. The attraction features innovative technology with no screens, just thrills. My kind of ride. I love that. I love the screen rides as well, but thrill is so exciting.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
This track has you feeling as though you are actually jumping tracks. This will be a 36-inch height requirement, and those under 48 inches will need a companion. This one looks really cool, and it's not found on the West Coast, so it'll be really interesting to see this side of the land and experience this attraction.
Yeah, agreed 100%. For dining in this land, you're going to find Toadstool Cafe. This will be a quick service restaurant in a Mushroom Kingdom themed space with Chef Toad preparing some of his favorite dishes. The windows will be screens that will play scenes from the franchise specifically themed to Mushroom Kingdom. For food, you're going to find soups, salads, sandwiches, along with select entrees and desserts. There's going to be lots of mushroom-themed dishes here, but of course, not everyone likes mushrooms, so not everything is going to have mushrooms. Don't worry, you're going to be able to find something here to snack on.
Yeah.
And spread out throughout the land, you have interactive elements and games to engage with, and you'll also have a meet and greet opportunity with Mario and Luigi. This land has been a huge hit in Hollywood, and it's sure to be on the East Coast as well. We know a little boy that's going to be absolutely smitten by this land, so we're really excited to experience this land.
Absolutely. All right, so next up is Dark Universe. Now, this is pretty unprecedented when it comes to theme parks. So when you think theme parks and the lands in those theme parks, it's generally pretty upbeat and centered around protagonists in their stories. Well, in contrast to that, Dark Universe is a land dedicated to and inspired by the monsters in Universal films. The Kronos leading through the land has a spire pulsating with electricity that will flow through the land. The land itself is named Darkmoor, which is a fictional land where all of these monsters call home. Universal has said that in this land, they toe the line between family-friendly and PG-13, and the different experiences in this land are going to reflect that. In essence, aside from the general creepiness of the land, you're going to actually be able to interact with what you want to have your experience be as scary or as tame as you'd like it to be. There are 2 attractions in this land. First, you'll have the Curse of the Werewolf. In this attraction, Maliva, who is the leader of the Guild of Mystics, will give you the news that you bear the curse of a werewolf. You'll board a wagon and zip through the forest in Darkmoor as you try to escape the home of hungry werewolves. This family-friendly thrill coaster will have a 40-inch height requirement.
The second attraction will be the flagship attraction, and it will be scarier than the first. So this will be Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. This will be a thrill/motion simulation attraction. So Dr. Victoria Frankenstein has captured all of Darkmoor's monsters and is conducting experiments to control them, but her plans are ruined by Dracula, who has got other ideas, right? So the attraction uses cutting-edge technology and combines elements from screens, motion, and elements you'll feel, like a breath on your neck kind of thing. So like 4D. The ride vehicle will be similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, but on a whole new level, right? So think that moving arm.
Oh, I love that.
Like the canopy that is on top of you for Forbidden Journey, it's not going to be there. So I think it's going to feel like more open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 100%. So this is going to have a 48-inch height requirement, and it will be scary. So it's going to be up for you and your party to decide if you're brave enough to ride this one.
It's almost going to be like a haunted house style thrill ride.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that one.
If you watch the reveal video, they say it's going to be creepy. Like it's going to be scary.
Love it.
Yep.
In terms of experience, you'll be able to enter the Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience, where skilled artists will be able to transform you into vampires, werewolves, mummies, and other spooky personas. There will also be monsters roaming the lands, and there will be some creepy meet and greet opportunities with Frankenstein's monster and his bride, Igor, the Invisible Man, among others. And for dining, you'll have Das Steakhouse. This will be a quick service dining experience in Darkmoor. The space is located in an old inn and dining hall that was built over ancient catacombs. In the space, you'll find vampire-themed decor, and the restaurant is actually run by the familiars of vampires. If you're not careful, you may wind up on the menu yourself. This restaurant will serve steaks on steaks.
Right. So this is what Universal said.
Love it.
So yeah, the spin of words, right? So steaks, like the food on a steak, like a vampire steak.
I love it.
So steaks on steaks.
That goes so well with probably a side of ketchup and blood. As Universal has said, among many other options that will be served there.
Yeah, exactly. And last but certainly not least is the Burning Blade Tavern. So this tavern is located inside the Burning Windmill. So Universal said they couldn't build the land without the iconic burning blades, right? So the blades are quite literally going to be on fire, right? So they're going to burst into flames on an ongoing basis, not unlike the dragon over in Diagon Alley. This is going to be a standout feature in the land, and we can't wait to see what it looks like. The quick service restaurant inside is described as a tavern where Darkmoor's monster hunters share a meal and a drink. Expect to find pub-style food here like burgers, wings, bratwurst, pretzels, among several, beverage options.
Yeah, that'll be your typical bar food.
Yep. So this land is going to be unique in its theming, right? So we're really excited to see what it's going to be like. Like we said, it's never really been done before, right? Certainly not on the scale. It's ambitious and creative, and it's going to be very popular for sure.
I agree, especially with that big thrill ride they have in there. The thrill seekers are going to be
Monsters
all over
Unchained,
that.
like 100%. That's going to be wildly popular.
Absolutely. Yep. And so last, but definitely not least of the lands, especially in our hearts, because it's by far the one we're really, really most excited about, is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. This expands the existing spaces of Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley that currently live at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. This new land will feature the French Ministry of Magic from the Fantastic Beasts films and the British Ministry of Magic from the Harry Potter films. So when you enter the Chronos into this land, you're going to walk into 1920s Muggle Paris, where you'll then walk through the Phoenix Arch into Place Cachée, which is the magical side. This is the biggest of the 3 Wizarding World lands to date. Universal has said that they built Paris streets to scale, and the shortest building in this epic universe land is taller than the tallest building in Diagon Alley. There will be magical elements everywhere you look around, and you'll be able to explore the different shops, restaurants, and spaces.
Yep. You'll enter the Ministry of Magic via the Metro Flue, right? So this is going to be essentially giant fireplaces and a multi-sensory experience that leads into, like the breathtaking British Ministry.
Oh my gosh.
Universal said what we saw in the movies, right, is going to be what's going to be there, like at full scale. So you guys, this is exactly what Lucy and I have been talking about. I got chills when I watched this video reveal. If you haven't yet, go check it out on Universal's YouTube page, okay? They've literally recreated the inside of the Ministry, complete with the fireplaces, fountain, dark green tiles. It all looks just like amazing.
We were talking to my mom about it today, and she was like, take me there.
Oh, 100%.
She's so excited.
Like, how can you not? How can you not? When you see this, it just looks unreal what they've done. Like, I cannot wait to walk through there.
Yeah, me either. It's going
to
be truly an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. The flagship attraction here is going to be Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. So the attraction is set after Voldemort has been defeated. Dolores Umbridge is standing trial for her crimes against the Wizarding World. So you're going to board a lift deep in the Ministry, and of course, plans go awry. Umbridge has escaped, and you'll join Harry, Ron, and Hermione in an effort to capture her. You're going to witness a battle between Harry, Ron, and Hermione against Umbridge and the Death Eaters. Universal said this is an ambitious ride with unique technology, with the lift being omnidirectional. So I'm not 100% sure what that all means, but I can only assume it's going to be amazing. So we got a quick glimpse in the video, and it looks like unreal. I cannot wait to ride this attraction. Like, yeah, I can't wait.
The excitement
Inside the
insane,
Ministry,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's going to be unreal. And it is going to have a 40-inch, so 40-inch height requirement, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, I have to wonder too if Harry, Ron, and Hermione are actually our actors coming back.
Well, that's the thing. So
that.
yeah, I'm curious. Did they get exactly. But did they get the actors to reprise their roles, or did they use like AI technology?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Like, I guess maybe we won't even know, but either way, it's going to be amazing.
Yep, agreed. In the land, in terms of entertainment, there's going to be Le Cirque Arcanu, or Le Cirque Arcanu. This will be an incredible show where you'll find and encounter fantastic beasts, right? So the premise is that Skender, the ringmaster, has stolen Newt Scamander's suitcase. Circus employee Gwendolyn takes on the task of rescuing the creatures. The show is housed in a magical tent that is a full-scale indoor theater, which is a first for the Wizarding World at Universal. So, like, think about magical tent like in the movies, but when you go inside, it's like a full-blown theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the show features aerialists, puppetry, special effects, live performance, and so much more. Another experience we can't wait to see. Like a full show in the Wizarding World, like, 100%.
Perfection.
Yep.
For merchandise instead of Ollivanders, given that this is Paris, you'll find Cosme, Acajor, Baguette Magique, where you'll be able to purchase wands like you do at Ollivanders at Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley. And throughout the land, you'll find interactive elements where you'll be able to test your new magical chops across the streets of Paris. Les Galeries Mirifiques will have wizarding gear and memorabilia, and the Tour en Flou will be the Metro Flou gift shop where you're going to find Ministry of Magic themed goods.
Yep. And for food, you'll have Café L'Art de la Sirène, which will be a quick service location where you'll find indoor and outdoor seating and be able to enjoy fresh baked goods like sandwiches, plats du jour, and delicious desserts. And of course, you're going to be able to wash it all down with butterbeer or bière au bar since you're in Paris. Yep.
Fancy.
And Le Gobelet Noir is going to be the second new restaurant coming to the Ministry of Magic expansion. So this is going to be in the seedier corner of La Place Cachée, if you will, where dark witches and wizards flock to avoid the Ministry of Fizzles. It's going to be an eclectic menu, right? They haven't released all that's going to be available, but it's going to offer soups, salads, and a variety of entrees and desserts.
Should be good.
Yep.
There will be a bar moonshine aimed at American witches and wizards, where you're going to be able to grab a drink in a space themed to Quidditch and Wizarding Americana. There will be a French butterbeer cart, which will serve bière au bar, the French version.
Yep.
Not unlike where you can find in existing lands. And there will be a confectionery shop called Quai Ramel to satisfy your sweet tooth. Of all the lands, this is the one I can't even explain to you how much we are looking forward to. And it's not even close.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
Sorry, all the other lands. We're huge Harry Potter fans, and this looks like everything we've dreamed of and more. We cannot wait for this one. Before we saw the concept art, we kept talking about, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? This is exactly what we were hoping they would do.
Exactly. Because we had seen glimpses of, they had shown the British Ministry of Magic, essentially, right? So we knew it was going to be
Ministry of Magic,
right? But we didn't know exactly what it would be. And now that it's confirmed to be what it is, like, oh my God.
I kept hoping that the big ride that they were going to make there was going to be in the elevators of the Ministry of Magic. So the fact that they did it,
it's the only thing that made sense, 100%.
Like,
and I'm so happy that they did that. Yeah, they nailed it. They nailed it. It's almost certainly going to be amazing. How could it not be, right? The others are so good. Like,
I could probably spend the whole day in there. Agreed. I'm sure of it.
Yep. So with all that said, so you can clearly see that this is a massive undertaking by Universal, and it's a colossal expansion of their current resort in Orlando. This will definitely make this into a multi-day, if not a full week vacation, and it's sure to be wildly popular for several months, if not a couple years after its opening. We've said this before, we don't like to put Universal in competition with Disney, but if it was Universal's goal, to be more competitive, I think they 100% achieved that with this, right? I
agree, yeah.
They're hitting a lot of different age groups and interests with some extremely popular IP like Harry Potter and Super Mario, and that's going to resonate with a lot of fans, and it's going to draw in like some big crowds.
Yeah, they've been very smart in all of this so far. I love the way they've rolled it out too, just one at a time, because that way you could really focus on the one land, get to know it,
exactly,
and then you were excited to see the next one after that. They were really smart about all of this.
Agreed, 100%. We're of the opinion that this is good for both Universal and for Disney. Yeah. So it's not either or. It's not one or the other. For us, it's both. We love Disney and we love Universal for different reasons. We'll continue to visit both resorts because they both have a lot to offer. Disney gives us like feels and nostalgia and comfort that Universal doesn't. And Universal gives us IP and thrills and a different experience that we don't get at Disney. And that's why we love it as well.
Absolutely. That's perfectly said. That's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
Any way you look at it, there's a lot of reasons to be excited at this new addition to the Universal Orlando Resort, and we are definitely going to continue to keep our ear to the ground for more news on the new expansions as it's released. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today to talk Universal Epic Universe. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss any future episodes. And if you could leave us a rating and a review, it would be greatly appreciated. You can do that right on the Apple Podcast. And for Spotify, you actually can't leave a review, but you can definitely leave a rating.
And you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Go.to Disney, as well as our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney, where we share more tips and have some fun as well. Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.